All right. Bob, is the camera on?
Yep.
Okay. Can you see my fingers? This is for our left-handed tire. I want you to take your thumb and your index finger, and I want you to put your index finger down around the first joint on your thumb with your thumb extended like that, and I want you to pull the thumb and push the index finger. Now, if our thread was hanging down on the bobbin, you would be spinning the thread, looking down on it, clockwise. Because when I spin the dubbing onto the thread, I want to spin it clockwise. Now, the right-handers is opposite hand. Can you see it? Visible? Start your thumb at the first joint on the index finger, pull with the index finger, and push with the thumb. Pull with the index finger and push with the thumb. Again, if we were looking down on the bobbin hanging on the hook, we're spinning it in a clockwise direction. Are there questions at that? Now, you've probably all seen me tying flies. I go to my mouth, I wet marabou feathers, and I will go to my mouth today with a little bit of saliva. You'll see it now, to make those turns, and I will show you how to do it. Now, there's one product that is very difficult to dub, and I don't care what you use. And I have more trouble dubbing with snowshoe rabbit. I don't know why. Once in a while, I'll have one come out, just boom, there it is. I get a perfect sulfur usual or a usual dry fly. 99 out of 100 times, I've got the fur and the guard hairs falling all over. And I do have trouble with that. And I've tried dubbing loops. I've tried wax, but it changes the color of it. I guess I need more practice on it. Questions so far? Again, left-hander, push with the index finger, pull with the thumb. Right-hander, pull with the index finger and push with the thumb. Almost as if you were turning a screw in. Right-handers tightening a screw. Left-handers taking it out. If you had a machine screw sitting in a tapped hole, standing up straight. Questions? Okay. I'm going to show you a dubbing loop. I'm going to be tying this fly today. Out of habit, I use this rusty brown color. Bob, is that a good picture?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I mean it was. How's that?
Put it where you want.
I do need a little space. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit of a thread base on this hook. It is a pain in the ass with this camera in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we've got a fly that started. We've got a thread base on it. We've got our tail on it. Possibly we've tied in a wire for a ribbing or a flashy piece of something for a ribbing. But we're going to use a heavily dubbed body per se, and we don't want to do it with just a single strand. To make a noodle, we want it to be a little chunkier. To make a dubbing loop, pull down some thread, put your finger in it, you're forming a loop. Take your thread back up to the top, take a couple of turns. Now, take your bobbin around that so that you close the top of that, and then you would take your bobbin forward take your tool. I'll use something that's, give me something that'll show up on it. I'll use dark natural. Now, yes, this you look like a surgeon with all the crap hanging in there. I'm going to take my dubbing, and when we get to doing it by hand, I'm going to pull some dubbing out. I'm going to stick the fur in between the loop there as best I can. Now I'm going to spin this clockwise. Now you can spin it too much. You can actually break it off. You can see this, I got too much dubbing in there. It made a very tight noodle. Now you've got two choices. Either take your hackle plier and take this off. If I can get it off. Can't see it. There it is. And you can take this and wrap this with your hackle plier. And this is a very, very fine noodle. But if you'll notice, it's very buggy because the filaments are sticking out. Now, you get up here, that's, well, let's make it a little longer. You get up to the front, that's as long as I want my body. I throw over one, I throw over two, I throw over three, I put one in front of it, I give it a slight tighten, and now I cut this off. And that's how you use this tool here. And by the way, if anybody would like to try it, you're more than welcome to it. Now we're going to do a dubbing by hand. I'll get a clean hook here, and then we'll get right into our fly. I've got another highlight here too, and we're going to use fur for a tail, and we're going to stack it. Alright, I'm just going to get an imaginary hook fly started here. Alright, when I take my dubbing out of the bag, and I've got 2 bags of each color, but we'll split them around the table, which is enough dubbing to do a monstrous number of flies. When I take the dubbing out of the bag, I don't do that. That doesn't work. I take the dubbing out, orange marabou in this one, and I pluck the dubbing. Can you see that? How I pluck the dubbing? Now that's a lot of dubbing. But what I do is I put it under the thread. I get a little moisture on my fingers, and I start at the bottom, and I start twisting the noodle, and I work my way up to the top. I slide my material up, shorten my bobbin, and now I start to wrap my body. I'm watching if I wanted a taper, I would have put some taper on the back underneath with thread. I'm starting to get a little loose there. And did you see what way my fingers did? Again, I did it right-handed. a little bit of moisture to give yourself some tackiness. Another thing I found, if you chew a piece of hard candy, or one of Bill's menthol cough drops, it may make your saliva just a tad more sticky if you're using something that's really slippery. Questions on that?